Okay, good afternoon. And the so far out west is called east again. I think that's what I used to say at the beginning of some of these. I thought I'd bring this match up because what can I say? I got the bug again, got the itch a little bit, and just want to start doing it again consistently for what it's worth. So it's going to be more of the same. I can imagine the numbers will be dwindling, but that's okay. That's okay. Here for me, and this is just one that I want to capture for anybody who might be interested, because I think this matchup is a word that I overuse, but somewhat marquee, even though I do want to show off the top here. So far in my replay, the Sabres have been, to use another word that I probably overused in yesterday's video, underwhelming. I mean, they were a playoff team at least. They're below 500 in this, 7-8-1, if you can see that, if you're watching it on a large enough screen. The Islanders, on the other hand, debatably one of the better teams. I mean, 24 points. Right now, only Calgary and Long Island have that in this league. I would argue Boston's doing better because in terms of points per game, they have 23 points in just 15 games played. The Islanders are 24 and 16, so really not by much. One could argue here the Islanders with 24 and 16 are really the top overall team. Calgary, it's taken them 19 games to get up to 24 points. So the Islanders have been doing really good in this replay. In fact, looking at some recent results, though, for them, so they are coming off a loss to Philadelphia, division rival. They shut out Tampa before that. Defeated the North Stars on the road, and Pittsburgh on the road as well. That's nothing. And then New Jersey. So they're coming off a loss, but before that they had a, let's see here, and they lost to Washington. They got shut out, but before that they had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by my count game winning streak. So they have still won 7 of their last 8 or 8 of their last 10. Buffalo, on the other hand, looking at some recent results, team results for Buffalo, 10-2 slaughtering of Hartford. Again, it's like the Cards know it's a division rival, right? They lost to Boston, though. They beat Los Angeles. So some win, some lose there for Buffalo. Typical of a team that's hovering around 500, just one game below it right now. And for player stats, Buffalo, they're playing this in the road. So led by Pat LaFontaine, 14 goals and 36 points, which again, this is in 16 games, so just above 2 points per game. In real life, I remember Pat LaFontaine had 148 points this 92-93 season. I think without looking it up, it was something like 53 goals and 95 assists. Really outstanding play from LaFontaine. I could be a little off in the numbers there without looking them up. But Mogilny as well had 76 goals. Now I noticed, as this game is being replayed, I think Mogilny got hot later in the season. Not that 11 goals in 17 games after this one was anything to shake at. I mean, that's still an about 50 goal pace, just doing the numbers roughly off my head. It'd be 55 and 85 games, and it was an 84 game season, right? Multiplying both numbers by 5. But Mogilny here up to 14 goals and 26 points. You have Howard Chuck, just 6 goals, a lot of assists, up to 23 points. And you can see everybody else there as well below the top 3. For the Islanders, Turgeon, who had a 132-point campaign in this one, he's got 15 goals and 14 assists for 29. I would guesstimate, looking back, he had 56 and 76. And again, that's without looking it up and double checking, like 56, 76 for goals and assists. You see a couple guys here, if you're able to see it, like Derek King off to a slow start offensively, but especially where it's a longer season replay, this stuff should average out over time. Barring a few aberrations, some stuff should look pretty similar. I'm looking to see if I see anything else that looks kind of funny. But you can see the players who are in the double digits are pretty much all at the top. And I think it's similar with Buffalo, maybe with 1 or 2 exceptions. I mean, Himmelev having almost a point per game. I have brief, vague memories of Himmelev when he first broke into the league being a fairly prolific offensive player. So that makes sense to me. Now, whether or not Andrew Chuck was on the Sabres at this time this season, I honestly don't remember. But whether it was earlier or later, because he's also carded for Toronto. But again, because they didn't play as much for their teams, they don't get as many goals or points, and so I factor that in, just like injuries, that they're just not going to do optically as well for the team, but they are part of that team. I score them for both teams. I know, like shootout hockey, for instance, has when there's a trade mid-season, they usually have something printed right in the set that you get, that as if to suggest that you don't use this player before, say, January or whenever the trade was. But I don't bother with that. I try to keep it simple. So how many minutes into this are we now? 4, almost 5. Okay, great. So we're starting off here, kicking off with Buffalo on the road. And another thing that I'm going to try to do, and I might fail, and already I can see I've got them crisscrossed and reversed here, but I got Buffalo up on the screen. Hopefully it's okay with Michael Mitchell if I'm showing just 2 teams from this set. I'm not peeking under the hood too far or anything, I hope. Just looking at, again, just a two-team look here. So you have the Sabres and the Islanders, meaning the Sabres, the black cards will go to Sabres players, the red to the Islanders players. Make sure that we shuffled a fair bit before we get started here. I don't want to mess up a game with just bad card draws and nothing seemingly random. And that is me having a sip of iced coffee. I've got that ready for this video, though you won't be able to see it. So the ace right away I can show you is going to be, whoops, I got to remember that's going to bother me. But the ace is going to Pierre Turgeon here at home for the Islanders. And Turgeon just needed a 2 to 10. He got a 9. Joker, that's also going to go top. So I could say that it's Turgeon's solo effort, but where this is the darker Joker card, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to, sorry, that is going to, but here's what I should do. I'm going to do it live too. I'm going to scroll over and up. This is the Islanders, because look, pop up on the right side now. And then this Islanders, I'm going to scroll down and over, and then it's the Sabres. There we go. So this is how I can play it purely on the computer. So for the Islanders, I'm going to go with Derek King, in other words. King off to a slower start, trying to get his offense going. Let's see, he needs like a 4 to 10, and he gets it. So he gets that 10 goal for Derek King. And the 3 of spades, we can even take a look who that's going to be for the secondary assist. Not Mogilny, but wrong team. Why is that not doing it now? What is going on there? I guess I still got to click here. Okay, that's still going to bug me. Anyway, so it's going to be Flatley with the secondary assist. So we come over to the spreadsheets, and we're going to go Derek King here. He's now up to double digit. No, not quite, but his 4th goal of the season. Turgeon has 15 assists, and Flatley here with 12. And I could update it in the penalty box as well. This is going to take a little more time. But then I don't have to, sorry, now I'm being kind of selfish with the setup. I suppose I could probably pause it in OBS as well. But again, for anybody that's watching this that's new and interested in posting games in Delphi, I highly recommend copy-paste to save some time. And the Buffalo Sabres, I said off the top, they come into this with a record of 7-8-1. Fun fact, if hockey reference is to be trusted, this is actually game 207 and not 208 in the schedule, but I played 208 this morning, which was New York against Quebec. An intriguing matchup, and actually that had a fun dramatic overtime finish that would have been fun to have video recorded, but I didn't. I decided to record. Again, I just wanted to show the Turgeon LaFontaine matchup. Of course, I could also mention, in case anyone here doesn't know, that was they were part of a blockbuster trade, I'm pretty sure, right? They went one for the other. Turgeon, I remember having his hockey cards for Buffalo. How's New York's good record comprised here? And LaFontaine's for Long Island, and then they switched. So 12-4-0 here for the Islanders. Oops, I lost half the parentheses. So that was Derek King with his 4th. And the Islanders are at home. Scoring right off the bat, they are. Derek, D-R-E-K, King, 4. And then Turgeon, whoops, up to 15. So now you see how I do it. Giving away the secret sauce. And Flatley, it was his 8th. There's nothing secret here. So 9, that's going to be the Islanders again. And 9-8, that will go through. So again, if I'm playing on my own, I don't even really start looking until like after the sequence. 6-10, so I know that's a goal. I know I got to check. So 9-8, 6-10, that was Malakhov, who actually led off the scoring in this game. He did with his 5th. And he fed it to... God, that's going to keep bugging me. He fed it to 6, Flatley. So Flatley, I think a goal to go with his assist, if I recall correctly. Flatley from Malakhov, and the Queen, which is the Queen of Clubs for the assist. Whoops. The Queen of Clubs is Mullen. That'd be Brian Mullen. So over here, we bring up Long Island, and that is, again, Flatley with his 3rd or 9th goal of the season. And Flatley from Malakhov, we said, so that's 8 assists. And Brian Mullen is down here, so that's his 8th point. So 2-0 for Long Island right off the bat. I should also pull up the starting goalies in this game as well. I'm just feeling in the mood to see them now. Patrick Flatley, or Pat, he might have gone by Pat. At the time, that was 9 goals for him. And Malakhov with 8 assists. Did I misspell his name? That would be embarrassing as a Habs fan. No, I should trust we've been through this in some recent videos. I need to trust myself. I need to be more confident. Mullen, I think it was assist number 6, right? Because he had 2 goals to go with it. So 2-0 for the Islanders right off the bat. Starting goalies in this game were Dominic Hasek, I guess 7-5 was the final score, so I will assume, I don't know if there's a way to tell that from here, but I will assume it was Hasek letting him force. So I'm going to say it's Hasek Healy, and we'll see again if this plays out similarly, then I'll pull Hasek. 8-4, that's Buffalo doing nothing. 9 is 9-5. I'm pretty sure that's a no, but let's just double check. We don't want to make a mistake. So, because for some teams, I think maybe like Pittsburgh would have a 9-5. Or not. 12 and a half minutes in now to the first period, up to minute 15. The Queen and the Queen, so we got to check Buffalo's team defense. The team defense is Kings and Red Queens, so that's going to be taken away. We'll use the third card in the sequence actually to say by who. So 7. Let's see if it would make sense if we look at like assist. Let's say breaking up that play was Randy Wood, perhaps. Let's see here, different ways that you can sort of narrate this. And so that's a dead sequence. And so this is the second last of the period. 3 Joker cancels out because they're on the road. And team player here for Buffalo, 4. I highly doubt their team rating is that, but let's double check anyway and click on the correct thing this time. So for Buffalo, 5-10, so it was close. Anyway, that is the end of one period of play, and the score after one period is 2-0. We'll do a bunch of shuffling again. At least I don't have to pause and shuffle when I'm using deck of cards. So we'll just click this a whole bunch of stuff. Do the ID gesture, the super hyper click of the dice. He's in some of his old game designs there for matchup hockey, which I still look at to this day. I still think he had a great thing going at some point. ID, if you're listening, buddy, I think it was a great thing. I think and I understand too, I completely respect it, but maybe just too many ideas and got overcooked. And I say that as somebody who's dealing with the exact same issue, trying to get my own game designs done. I digress. 2 and 3. So this is team player number 3. Ace is auto through to 4. And Ace, that's an auto score. So let's, after the fact, let's take a look at what Buffalo did here to get back into the game. 3 will go with Dave Hannon there. And not Wayne Presley, and Ace, so auto through to 4. Pat LaFontaine, who else, of course. So LaFontaine, surprise, surprise, getting Buffalo back into this game here in the second period with his 15th and 37th point of the season, above just 2 points per game, which again, it would be a little higher than in real life, but it's early. LaFontaine from Dave Hannon there with his 7th, so 15 and 7, and did I get a secondary assist? I absolutely did not. So the diamond for LaFontaine, 10 of diamonds for LaFontaine's goal is Presley anyway. So he's showing up on the score sheet whether we want him to or not with his third assist because he's got too many goals to go with him, and that looks a little lopsided. So LaFontaine here with 15, and we'll get that done here nice and slowly and carefully and correctly. LaFontaine 15, and that was from Hannon with his 7th, and then that was Presley with assist number 3. So it's a 2-1 hockey game now. Up to the 5-minute mark of the second period, where it's Buffalo building on momentum, maintaining possession. Let's just double check here for Buffalo. Queen Mogilny needs a 5-10. Yeah, it's pretty rare for a Queen player. 3 for Buffalo and Jokers. So again, they're playing keep away, but not managing much of anything with it. Now that I've said that, we got a 4, 10, 8, and that is going to be a goal. Let's double check here to see who's responsible for the damage. That was LaFontaine getting the helper. He needs more of those. And is that Howard scoring the goal? Completely plausible to me. This could have been on the PP. That Howard from LaFontaine in the secondary, the Jack of Hearts. We're going to get Donnelly. That would be Ike Donnelly. I don't think so. I think that's Wayne Donnelly. Some Donnelly. Gord Donnelly. My goodness. Sorry, Gord, I forgot you. 15 and 23 for 38, and Howard with the 7th there. So 7 and 7, 23 and 3 is what I need to remember. And then if I can remember all the names to go with it. We got a 2-2 hockey game here, folks. So Dale Howard there, potting in his 7th. And LaFontaine with assist number 23. And then, no, not Hannon. Donnelly. And what assist number was it? I can't remember anything about this poor guy. This poor veteran, Gord Donnelly. Okay, so let's see here. 2, 8, 2. So no, that's not going to get through. I think there's one team where it does that, and I want to say Pittsburgh right away, but I say Pittsburgh for everything, but no, the 6th. So that was 12.5 minute the sequence. So 10-6 for Buffalo. I think they can get something going with this. 10-6. No, Andrew Chuck cannot. So 5 minutes to go here in the second period with a 7 and the Queen. Double checking the Islanders team defense now. Red Kings and King of Spades. So they will prevent any play from being made. Where we go to the final sequence of the second. That's a 6 and an ace for the Sabres. And the 8. Did Buffalo take the lead? We got to double check here. Not Malakov scoring for the Sabres, but Howard Chuck again, right? Wait, what am I? Screen's getting a bit messy now. Don't mess up anything. 8 and King of Clubs. Now, Healy was excellent this season. Oh, but King of Clubs will work. So barely crossing the line. It is Dale Howard Chuck with his second. His stats so far this season, not so goalish, but if you play long enough with DoC hockey, it should correct over time, correct. So Howard Chuck with his 7th. 6 started off that play, ex-Montrealer Peter Sabota, and who they taught to say not so nice things to the linesman. When he first came over to Montreal, didn't speak much English. It was the 80s, read Lions in winter. And Jack of Diamonds. So Jack of Diamonds here for, that's Brad May. So Mayday! That was a terrible Rick Jenneret. For all fans of Rick Jenneret out there, I'm incredibly sorry. Mayday, May. He's amazing. I should stop trying to imitate him at all. Brad May and Howard Chuck there with his 8th, actually. I think I said 7th earlier incorrectly. And Peter Sabota up to double digits now in assists. So Buffalo taking the lead at the tail end of the second period. That second period pretty much all Buffalo. So Howard Chuck with his 2nd here of the game, 8th of the campaign. And Sabota there with his 10th. Helping out from the blue line. And May with 4. So here we go for period 3. Double checking the number of sequences there. And just click shuffle a bunch of times. This is useful. I know that not many hockey games use playing cards. I'm trying to think of one other than DoC. I guess Blue Zone does. I have my own modification for it that I call Gray Zone. I don't know if you could set up something like that for this. You can add decks, as again, you can see if your screen is large enough. So here, 6. Ace. Again, that's Peter Sabota for Buffalo. That's got to be to LaFontaine. That is easy in. 4 unanswered goals now from the Buffalo Sabres. They could be reversing history here. And that 4 of spades. So we're looking at Mogilny getting the helper. I think that's like his 13th. And that's got to be LaFontaine from Sabota and Mogilny. Just double check here before I fill it in. Oh, Mogilny! Wait a minute. Mogilny is the ace. So Mogilny can't assist his own, so that's going to be Mogilny from Sabota again, I guess. Yeah. Mogilny from Sabota, 1 assist. So Mogilny from Sabota, 1 assist it is. For Mogilny, that'll be his 15th, tied again for the team lead with Pat LaFontaine in this game. 15, and Sabota with 11 assists now. Which, again, I think that a stat like that will correct over time. Or it might not, which, again, I think makes for an interesting storyline. So, as long as it doesn't happen all the time, I would say. So, 15 and 27 points now. And Sabota there up to 11, as you can tell. He's, but I mean, he was, 5, 6, 7... Okay, 11th in team scoring. So 11th in team scoring. Sabota's got 11 assists. Queen and King. So this is Islanders immediately trying to get a goal back and get back into it, which they do. A pair of 10s and a Queen and a King. We will check Buffalo's team defense, but Kings and Red Queens. So looking at the Islanders to see who did the damage, it was 10 and 10. So that's Brian Mullen getting a goal to go with his assist from earlier. And Flatley with the primary helper. And then the clubs is clubs, 10 of clubs is going to be Brad Delgarno. So back to the Islanders we go. And that is Mullen here, 3 goals and 9. Delgarno with 4 and 5. And Flatland, did I say started it off? See, the short-term memory does fail me, and I don't trust it. Let me see here. Getting old before my time, I am. So, Flatland, the Queen. I want to make sure. I don't want to make a mistake. Okay, 4-3. Islanders. Brian Mullen with goal number 3. And Flatley with... Did I even give him his point, though? I did not. Wait. I can control... No, I remember he had... I'm pretty sure he had 12 assists at the start of the game. If not, whatever. I've been a little generous to Pat Flatley. Perhaps earlier in the season there was something that he... Oh. That's worrisome. Okay, I'm going to have to check this after the tape because now I have Flatley with 8. I think I put his assists instead of his goals, so it's a good... He basically got another assist just to remind me that I did that. So, okay, tens, not 10, but tens of IQ points lowered here at this point. I hope I'm not lowering anyone's IQ by their watching it. So 9 and ace, that is... Back to the Sabres we go here to the 10-minute mark of the third period. This is a 1-goal game now. Richard Schmelik and Otto through with the ace to 7. 7 and ace. So Buffalo restoring their 2-goal lead courtesy of Wayne Presley. Presley with his 8th from Richard Schmelik. And the 9 of diamonds, that is Presley again. So all over this game he is. Let me see here. Go to Buffalo. Presley, 8 goals and 11 points now, and Schmelik also up to 10 assists. So Buffalo getting the support, getting the feeds from the blue line, restoring a 2-goal lead here. Presley with his 8th, another 1-assist goal here for the Sabres with his 10th. 12 and a half minutes in now. The Islanders once again. They've run out of steam. Let's see here. Buffalo, though, that is the queen. Queen 5 for Buffalo. Alexander Mogilny wants an assist to go with his goal. 6 of diamonds and queen. So we got to... No, Healy, I don't think, can surrender on a queen. I don't think he's letting... yeah, Red Kings and King of Clubs. So that's a good save from Healy on Brad May. And that is 15 minutes in. So assuming the Islanders are pulling here... Looking at Buffalo's team defense, which is dropped by a level. Kings and Red Queens. So, yeah, no. That would, the Queen of Clubs, Queen of Spades is supposed to be one or the other. I'm going to give the Islanders the benefit of the doubt here. Great offensive team in 93. I don't think I'm doing anything I wouldn't do for just any team. And the King and the 2. Let's see here. The King and the 2 for the New York Islanders. King and a 4. So I could even justify dropping that by 1, but I can't here. So I'm going to say instead that is a great save for Dominic Hasek, keeping the Sabres in this game early and allowing them to come back and pull ahead. And possibly with an empty net here, but 6 and 4, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that this plays out without a goal in the final sequence. So the final score here, we didn't get 12 goals. We only got 2/3 of it. In history, 12 goals were scored between these teams. But they shared a combined 8 goals in this game. And your final score is Buffalo, 5-3, coming back. They were down by 2 at one point. Strong second period. And the Islanders there contesting it in between. And this is probably wholeheartedly boring and making this video unnecessarily long. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to assume I'm going to add 60 minutes to Dominic Hasek's total, show that he surrendered 3 goals but got a win. So let's go Hasek. And also what I've got to do as well is, well, first I've got to calculate Hasek's minutes. Or his, I got to see his rough numbers. I also like to do this too. Sometimes I probably forget to do it, but Buffalo 5. And again, given how the Islanders have been doing this season, it goes without saying thus far that this victory for the Sabres is significant. And for the Islanders, for that matter, they're now on a 2-game losing skid. So we'll come over here. I'm getting distracted here, multifold distracted, but 12 and 5 for the Islanders. And they should get up to 70 goals. That's another way to check the stats and see if they're right. If they're off by 1, I might come around and auto-correct it at the end of the season. Buffalo back to 500 now, 72 goals, should be up to 77, 61 let in. And of course, I can come down here. I have it set up so that the spreadsheet numbers will all add up. So these should all add up to one another and be like in terms of wins, losses, goals for, goals against, and all that fun stuff. And back to Buffalo we go, where we're looking at, so Dominic Hasek. So what I would do here, and this is all rough, this is loose, I round up, so I'm going to say 297 minutes for him. And because I don't always give them a full 60, and that's 14. And so what I can do now is go 14 times 60 divided by 297, and that's going to work out to a goals against average of 283. 283, so jumping up just slightly from 270. 4-1. This Hasek's going to be good someday as a goaltender. So 4-1 with a 283. Let's throw that into here as well for anyone who's just reading. And 283, and then for the Islanders, for the Islanders it was Glenn. I always forget how many ends. I feel like this is a hockey Mandela effect. Like when I was a kid, he had one end, and now he has two or something. Or maybe I had a hockey card with a misprint or something, and it was the first one I ever had of him. And in my mind, I just never corrected. So Healy with Healy with so 598. We'll assume that he only played 58 minutes for this one. Again, I'm just kind of doing it loose. And so instead of 658, we'll go 656 with his minutes and 37 goals let in. So 37 multiplied by 60. And then 600 divided by 656 minutes. Again, it just gets you something that's rough and close enough for me that it satisfies me. So his goals against is going to jump to 338 after this, and then 6-5 is his record. So now you see, again, now I did say 70 goals. Sometimes too, I like to go back and double check stuff like this. So 70 goals for the Islanders or Buffalo. Should be 77 again, even though the record's not, 78. So I think there's two teams, Buffalo and Philadelphia, where I'm going to have to go back and autocorrect by like one, or not autocorrect, but like go back and make a correction, stat correction after the fact. You see them in the real game sometimes because I play fantasy hockey. There are stat corrections from time to time. So again, like if we take a sample here, watch a whole bunch of them be off. Like Boston should be 64. And let's go Montreal, because I'm a Habs fan. Montreal, and Vincent Damphousse is doing amazing. 67, which I know that they're at from the game before. Anyway, this video is probably already way too long, but any time that you give to it, any consideration, even just checking it out for a little bit, watching a final score, listening to just the pregame or postgame, it's all good. It's never expected, but it is always appreciated. And I do got to get going and get ready for work, so bye for now.